War has always defined the fate of nations. Across centuries, empires have risen and fallen on battlefields soaked in blood and bravery. From swords to tanks, from catapults to nuclear fire, humanity's story has been shaped as much by conflict as by peace. These are the 10 most fierce wars in history, where courage met destruction, and the world was forever changed. Number 1. The Peloponnesian War 431–404 BC. Over 2,000 years ago, ancient Greece, the birthplace of democracy and philosophy, tore itself apart. Athens and Sparta, once allies against Persia, turned on each other in a struggle for supremacy. For nearly 30 years, Greece was consumed by siege, famine, and plague. Athens fell, democracy dimmed, and the war marked the beginning of Greece's decline. A lesson in how internal division can destroy even the greatest civilization. Number 2. The Punic Wars 264–146 BC. Rome and Carthage, two powers fighting for control of the Mediterranean, clashed in a series of wars that lasted over a century. The second of these wars produced one of history's greatest generals, Hannibal, who crossed the Alps with war elephants to strike at Rome itself. Despite his brilliance, Carthage was eventually crushed. Its cities burned, its people enslaved, and Rome emerged as the new master of the ancient world. Number 3. The Mongol Conquests 1206–1368. Few wars changed the face of the world like the rise of the Mongol Empire under Genghis Khan. In less than a century, the Mongols created the largest land empire in history, stretching from China to Europe. Entire cities vanished, millions perished, and yet trade and knowledge flourished across the Silk Road. The Mongols ruled through terror, speed, and brilliance, an unstoppable force that reshaped Asia and beyond. Number 4. The 100 Years' War 1337–1453. For more than a century, England and France fought a seemingly endless conflict that produced heroes and legends, from Joan of Arc to the Longbowmen of Agincourt. Generations grew up knowing nothing but war. Entire towns were razed, and famine swept across Europe. When it ended, France was reborn as a unified nation, and medieval warfare gave way to the dawn of modern Europe. Number 5. The Napoleonic Wars 1803–1815. At the turn of the 19th century, one man rose above all others, Napoleon Bonaparte. His ambition knew no limits. From Spain to Russia, his armies marched, spreading revolution and fear. Europe became his chessboard. But at Waterloo, his empire crumbled, and the dream of French dominance died. The Napoleonic Wars claimed millions of lives, but also ushered in the modern idea of nationalism that still shapes politics today. Number 6. The American Civil War 1861–1865. A nation divided against itself, brother against brother, North against South. The American Civil War was one of the bloodiest conflicts in history. Over 600,000 people died, more than in any other American war. It ended slavery, preserved the Union, and transformed the United States into a modern industrial power. But its scars still run deep, a reminder of how ideology and injustice can rip a nation apart. Number 7. World War I 1914–1918. They called it the war to end all wars. Instead, it became a nightmare of mud, trenches, and poison gas. Europe turned into a graveyard. Empires collapsed, the Ottoman, Austro-Hungarian, and Russian. Over 16 million people died as nations discovered the terrifying power of modern weapons. When the guns finally fell silent, the world was forever changed, and the stage was set for something even darker. Number 8. World War II 1939–1945. The deadliest conflict in human history. From the skies over London to the beaches of Normandy, from the deserts of Africa to the jungles of Asia, the world was engulfed in flames. More than 70 million lives were lost. The war ended with the defeat of fascism, the Holocaust's horror revealed, and the birth of nuclear weapons. It left behind not just ashes, but a new world order, divided by ideology, united by fear. Number 9. The Vietnam War 1955–1975. A war fought not just on battlefields, but in hearts and minds. Superpowers collided in Southeast Asia, where guerrilla warfare turned jungles into death traps. Millions died, and entire generations were scarred. Televised for the first time, the Vietnam War brought the brutality of conflict into living rooms, and shattered the illusion of glory and war. Number 10. The Second Congo War 1998-2003, often forgotten by the world. This war claimed over 5 million lives, the deadliest since World War II. 9 African nations and countless militias were drawn into a vortex of violence fueled by greed and minerals. It left Central Africa in ruins, but also revealed extraordinary resilience, communities rebuilding from nothing, determined to survive. War has always been humanity's darkest mirror. Each of these conflicts was born from ambition, fear, or injustice, but all left behind the same truth. There are no real winners in war. Empires rose and fell, borders shifted, but the cost was always human. History remembers the victors, but the true story of war lies with those who endured. The soldiers in the trenches, the civilians under fire, the families who waited and never saw their loved ones return. If you found this journey through history powerful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the History Vault for more epic tales of courage, tragedy, and the timeless lessons humanity keeps forgetting.